Hello. It's been a while since I made an update video on OstrichDB. I've been very busy with a lot of other things, work and personal stuff, other projects that I'm having to work on now. Um, so, firstly, we got 16 total or 16 stars from other folks. Of course, 17 if you add me. So the project's getting some eyes, which is really cool. Hopefully, people can contribute in certain ways, whether that be just ideas or code. Don't really matter to me as long as people are looking at the project. I'm glad this is the most stars I've gotten on something, so it's pretty cool that people have checked it out, even if it's only for a little while. So with that being said, I'm working on version 0.3. It's been a pain in the ass. um, so I guess one thing I was trying to work on or was working on was like logging in, logging out, and switching between users. And it's rough. So originally I had a function that would just get called again, keeping the program running, but I'd call this function again, and then it would just or procedure again, uh, and it would just it would break. It would just break everything. So I spent several days trying to figure that out, track down that bug. Couldn't figure it out, so I just change it up. So let's log in here. Oop, wrong window. User. All right, so we're logged in. So if I did log out here, um, previously this wouldn't show up. It would still, the program basically now restarts and just automatically takes you back to the login, kind of resetting the state of the program, right? Since it restart, everything's fresh essentially. Um, Previously, the program would never have restarted. Thus the state of the program was still the same, and it would break things. And I could not figure it out in a timely manner. So I was like, all right, let's just find an easier way to do this. And so this is my solution. So it technically works. I mean, the exit command will still close the program completely, while log out essentially keeps it going. In a sense, it restarts it, but as far as other people are concerned, you can just log in as a different account. So, um, let's log in again. Actually, so I also am working on was working on like role-based actions. So right now there's only one role-based action, which is the creating a new account. So you can see here in my secure folder, I have two files. Previously, there used to just be one secure file that would have all like several of these clusters, or I'm sorry, you just had one file. I'll just leave it at that. Easy explanation. You just had one file with the cluster in it. Okay. So now you have multiple files for each user or account that you made. So while I was logged in as user 2, which has the role of admin, I created an account called Data Dev. This is just somebody who stopped by my stream the other day, uh, and I gave him the role of user just to test things out. So if I log in as user 2, which is my admin account, and I clear this out, and I do the command new user, we can it then launches this process. It's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? What role should they have? So if I do a guest role and I name it testing or just test, and we set up the password. I think I typed that right. Hopefully I did. I did. All right, cool. So you can see it did make that test account and with the guest role. So if we relaunch this, now if I try logging in as test, okay, now if I do new user, there you go. You do not have the required permissions to create a new account. Look at that, role-based action right there. If you have that guest role, you cannot create an account. If you have a user role like DataDev does, you can only create guest accounts. And if you have an admin role, you can create any of them. So there you go. Let's log out again here and then go back to um, our admin account. Okay, so aside from that, that's it still has some things that needs to be fixed. Like if you're logged in as a, if I logged in as a user, it still kind of breaks a couple of things, but we'll get there. So another thing I've been working on and trying to figure out is setting data. So if we create a collection and we call it example, okay, no data as usual. So if we do new cluster, hello within collection example, there you go. So now let's do this new record, world of type string, or yeah, let's do bool, and we're gonna put it in example, and we're gonna do hello. So there you go, it adds it in there. Well, there's no actual data. We have the data's name, like what, the name for that data, and we have the type, but we have no actual data. So how do we do that? Well, that's where this new command comes in called set. So what you need to do is do set record, and then I think, what did I do? Set record world to I actually forgot how I did this. I'm sorry. What is it? Set record world to true? No, that's not how it is. Oh, yeah, it is. Yes. So then you do the collection example. Then it finds that. So that works, right? We have true there. Now let's do this. So let's do set record world to 1, and then we say it's an example. Well, you can't do that. We read over the file. It's like, okay, this is expecting a Boolean value. If you give it an integer value or a string value or a float, that won't work. So it has to be true or false in this instance. I need to add in the ability to have like null or nil or something, but for all of these. But yeah, so there you go. So let's try another one. Let's do set record. And again, if you see me typing in all caps or not, it doesn't matter. Set record, or let's do new record, foo of type string. Example. Hello. There you go. So now let's do set record foo to, and we want to set it to, I guess that, and it's an example, and there you go. So I do need to add it to where there's it's an actual string with quotation marks, but that's pretty good. So yeah, we can technically set records. Now the problem is, if I had, you may have noticed I didn't choose what cluster. Now, if I had a second cluster, it still wouldn't happen. It only finds the first instance of that name that you chose within this collection. I need to work on specifying the actual cluster. So for example, if I had another cluster here called world, I need to be like, okay, well, I can still have these two records in both of these, and they could be the same exact type, and they can have the same value, but I need to specify which one I'm trying to change. So that's the next step, but currently adding data, which is good. This is a huge step because honestly, that's the main purpose of the database, is allowing data to be used and manipulated and whatnot. So I'm a little behind on version 0.3. I think it's probably I was going to release it. Like I was planning on having all this done and releasing it like next week, but I don't think that's gonna happen. It might be another week after that. So yeah. If anybody got any ideas or want to contribute, please feel free to go to the OstrichDB repository here. Um, I'd love to help. Any ideas or anything like that would be great. Plenty of issues to be worked on as well. So feel free. Um, Lastly, I got for anybody who knows CobbCodding, super good dude, super smart man. This guy's great. He inspires me to build more complex things just for the fun of it and learn. So he actually contributed uh, and he created. He worked on what is it? The tree command, I believe. So let's do tree. So there you go. It lists out all of the all of our collections and the uh oh oh I didn't save this file. Let's try that again. I was wondering where world was. Let's try that again. Tree, and there we go. So yeah, it lists out. It gives a nice tree with the collections and the clusters within them. I'm thinking maybe I can do records, but that'd be a lot because you might have a cluster with 1,000 records in it or something like that. Who knows? But anyway, so yeah, he did that, and he also did a history command, and you can see your history of commands that you typed, and you can choose to repeat them or not. Just click enter, and then go back. So I do want to revamp this just a little bit. I don't know how, but I think I might. I like it though. It's a great little thing to have there. So yeah, that's about it. Shout out to CobbCodding. If you don't know who he is, he creates crazy things. He's on YouTube at CobbCodding. Just look up CobbCodding. He programs in a lot of C. He's built, a text editor called Kano, which is, I believe, similar to Vim. I helped write some of the documentation for that, but not much. He streams on Twitch as well. I believe his Twitch is CobbCodding1 with the number 1 at the end of it. So feel free to check him out. Good dude. But that's about it. This is a long update. I probably won't have another one for a couple weeks. So yeah, leave a comment on what you think and any ideas you may have, criticisms, all that good stuff. And that's it. Peace.